Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, rules could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the readings. So I look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play those karmic themes, help you understand why your person's doing what they're doing, how you can again integrate the spiritual lesson, which is going to transmute that trigger, emotional trigger. So when you're dealing with a karmic, they have the power to trigger you. And so it's really what we do that will create karma. So if you are coming from a place that's grounded opposed to a place that's emotional, well, you get a lot different of a reality. And so there's many different realities that play out at one time. So when we're doing shadow readings, we like to go deep for that particular reason because it gives you the power back. When you're dealing with a karmic, there's a lot of times that you feel powerless and then you're stuck in ruminating and just in a bad energy. So we don't want to stay in that energy because if we stay in that energy, it affects us. It's going to affect what else we manifest within our life, how we see life. So it's just a more of a healing reading, and you're the alchemist of your life. So once you have the information, you can actually, ground it. Don't mind my hair. It's like I have the devil horns today. Wanted to jump on and do a reading fast. All right. Anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box. Like the video if you resonate with it. All right. Christ consciousness. Now, that's not a religion, but people can tend to think that it is, but it's not. What it is that when we're talking about Christ consciousness, we're talking about the highest level of consciousness, which is derived from love, that everything is derived from love. There's only two energies, love and fear. Love is when you are going to be the most abundant. That's when you are, again, able to embrace your spiritual sovereignty to make it actually work for you. The obviously fear is when we're in a place of doubt, and every other emotion that's derived from it. So you're vibing at a high vibration right now, and that's really the goal. And it's the goal. And so are you saying, oh, I'm trying to, no, it's by what you're doing. So you're really trying to work on yourself. You're really trying to put out the best quality of work. You're showing up for yourself. Your actions are in alignment with what you're saying. So you're taking care of your physical health, you're taking care of your spiritual health. And that really is when you're living a Christ consciousness. Because what you're saying, I love myself. And again, realize that life is a whole co-creation process. So understand a lot of people aren't going to live up to your level. Why? It's again because you're determined to succeed. So when a person's like that, their focus is on that. So this is the underlining energy, which is actually a great energy to be in because no one can manipulate you. It doesn't mean that you don't have feelings for people. It doesn't mean that you don't people can't affect you, but they're not going to take you down emotionally. That's why, because you're again in doing you're finding you're filling your cup up. So you're influencing the connection. And that's going to tell us what this person is doing. How is that making this person feel? Because everything in the beginning, when you're not talking to somebody, everyone's intuitive. They're trying to figure out what the other person is doing. And you're not paying attention to this person at all. So it means that, ESP through the heart and mind, this person isn't really feeling you that much. So we have to say, how is that making this person feel? It's again it's almost like, why are you holding like, why are you like, it's you don't understand what I'm going through. You don't understand what happened to me. Like, there's a reason why I treated you bad. It's again, they're the victim here. Like, you're not being fair because you're not talking to them, you're not allowing them. And it's like they're not talking to you. They're waiting for you to talk to them because again, they detached. So now that you didn't run after them, they're not happy because they're not getting what they want wherever they went to. And also you're not running after them. So this person doesn't have anything. So they're in their old habits. That's like again victimization, but what's connected to that victimization, like I feel like this person either eats has an eating disorder, or again is triggering them to like just be avoidant, to like not show up, to have like addiction problems, right? And that's just someone that is like, this is not my fault. It's like they don't want to look at what they're doing because you're not talking to them. And it's like, and you're not talking to them because we will eventually get to what this person will do and why you attracted this person into your life. Because right now, what we see is someone that's extremely stubborn, that would rather live the lies and illusions and just pretend that they're hopeless because it's like you're not doing anything. They can't read off you. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? It's like you're not showing them anything. You're not giving them anything. It brings them back to a place of regret because you're not saying anything. You're just detached. So it's again making this person angry because really they don't want to do the healing. They don't want to look at the healing. They're doing everything to, not have to look at it, is what I see. So they were just, but with you just not being serious, like just being childish, like you didn't really know what they wanted with the relationship. Like you knew that they had feelings for you, but saying one thing, doing another, trying to get underneath your skin to get a reaction, trying to get you to chase after them, when really it's like it hurt you over time. And so you just felt like this person really didn't have their, like, they were cold. It was almost like you cold. You don't really care about me. So on an emotional level, you felt like this person was just like kind of toying with you because they were acting one way. And they didn't want to take the time out to really like understand you like emotionally, and that's what would have made you feel safe. That's what would have made you feel aligned. This person didn't really want to do that. It's like they didn't really want to create the intimacy. And so there was always a sense of, well, what, like, I don't trust you because I don't really know where you're coming from without that emotional connection. So did this person have feelings or didn't they? Because this is the way that they acted. Now, when people have shadows, again, they have behaviorisms and habits that are in alignment with those shadows. If they have deep feelings and they haven't done any of the healing work, well, again, those deep feelings are going to trigger this person. And it's not going to trigger them in a happy way because really all relationships really do is or teach us about ourselves. So when we get triggered, so this person has a lot of healing to do and you represent that because you're going to hold to a certain standard. This person tried to be in your life without actually stepping up to that standard. So again, that's going to make them like revert back to like being angry, almost like a child, to when they were emotionally stunted, where they're acting like a baby. It's like, I don't want to do that. And so acting like a victim, someone that's like, oh, I can't fix it. When it's like, you have to surrender your ego. You have to change. So on a deeper level, on a spiritual level, it's again, I need to be strong in who I am before I can merge my energy with yours in the 3D. I'm afraid I can lose myself in this relationship. So this person has a habit of codependent relationships, but usually where they have the upper hand. And what they see is that they wouldn't really be able to have the upper hand with you. And so that's the thing. It's like, so when you hold to a standard, even though it's like, you're like, why isn't this person just giving in? Well, because they have to step into like a better version of themselves longer than a day. Otherwise, it's like they know you're going to be on top of it. You know that you're going to require it, and it's like they don't know who they are. A person that plays this many games, that wants to stay childish, they're not strong in who they are. So they will like, I can't play the same game, so I wouldn't have the upper hand in this connection. Understand that. And right now, there are just subconscious fears affecting their ability to attract love and abundance. But the universe is helping both of you actually make them conscious so you can easily attract what you want, including each other if that's going to be when the time is right. So that's what the issue is. It's like no subconscious, or what I was telling you before, those blockages. Why this person rather create the lie? It's almost like I don't care as much about you as I really do. The illusion is that, but they do, is that it would require them to actually do step it up. A person doesn't think that they can step it up when they're relying on their old habits. And this showed you that this person has bad habits. So again, they'd have to give up the liquor. They'd have to give up the smoking weed all day. They'd have to give up that you're not going to agree with it. It's like their coping mechanisms, how they deal with life, not you, life. However, being in a relationship when you're not strong creates more stress, especially when there hasn't been healing. Because this person keeps going, like, again, needs to do that healing. Otherwise, they're going to bring all that baggage into this relationship and it doesn't have a chance. And that's what they know. What they feel is, yeah, there's a spiritual connection. I feel that, but like, you make me look at myself. You make me challenge myself. And I actually still have unconditional love for you. It doesn't make sense. Like, I hate you also because, again, you make me feel inadequate. You make me feel, but it's again, that's how they feel about themselves. It's not how you feel about them. It's again, they see how you live. They're watching how you live. You're inspiring them. You're showing them without words. This person feels like, well, I'm going to mirror your energy because, again, 1111, they're awakening. Oh, like that's like I've been really like asleep for a long time. And what awakens us sometimes is experiences, people. Sometimes it's just a sentence we hear, like anything can trigger an awakening. But here in this story, it says, as twin flames, we are here to ascend and help others do the same. So this person feels like they're awakening and they're, again, slowly evolving back. Any person that wants to step it up to a twin flame level from past life karmic made in any lifetime, they can do so. Again, and I feel like it's because, well, listen, you're not giving them anything. You're forcing them to kind of do that and understand part of their healing is that they realize that they don't feel deserving and it's really affecting them because and they know that they're not deserving because we wouldn't feel not deserving if we on some level. So part of that's the core beliefs, but it's their addictions, it's their things that they have to let go of again. And that's why they have the addictions. So it brings them down to the core belief about who they are, what do they want. And that's not a fast process. And not just anyone can make a person look at those elements about themselves. If it's just a person that it's a fling or it's a person, it's like that might teach us certain things, but it's not going to dig up those old inner child wounds that make us do the work. And right now, this is really what I keep saying. It's like this person is working on themselves. Their plan is one day to come back, and you don't really know whether or not they're going to come back today or tomorrow, which means if it's that phase, it means that a lot of healing gets done in separation. The twin flame is on, it's off, it's on, it's off. It happens over years. It doesn't happen in a year. It happens over years. And what you really have is an unconditional love for the person, even though they've hurt you, even though that they don't show up, even though they've triggered you in every single way. But they also bring out that when it's good, it's great, it's passion, it's bliss. It's there's such a paradox. And the key is to learn balance. But in separation, a lot of healing is done. And so I feel like this person is in their healing. And so Spirit says, well, you're supposed to be actually in your healing phase too, because it's not one sided, it's a two-sided thing. And that's again, and you'd have to do it anyway, even if you didn't want to be with this person. So, not to keep attracting the fragmented parts that are going to wound, like trigger you, because that's what you'll see. Maybe not as much as the twin flame, but it'll still happen, because every relationship is designed to help revert you back to your original energy of unconditional love, to surrender. And that's hard for us to do because we're not born into a world that conditions us that way. So again, we'll pull 6 to see, and see number 1, neglect. So we always look at the inner child wound cards because that's where a lot of fragmentation happens. But that doesn't mean that it had to happen. Then it could have happened in a relationship. It could have happened in grammar school. It could have happened, but a lot of times it does happen from the family. It's rooted in the family, like ancestral karma. So whatever, if your mother was jealous, that it didn't come from that. That person brought that into, your immediate family through, again, how they grew up. Protection, loner, truth, optimism, and play. The irony is like, again, I just feel like, I feel like this relationship didn't really bring out that many bad traits. However, growing up, I do feel like you didn't, like, when I see neglect, it could be emotional, it could be psychological, it could be anything, and it could be for any reason. It's a collective reading. So it could be, oh, I know my mother loved me, but I just couldn't really be as transparent because her relationship was bad. It could be anything where you felt, again, neglected, like in that area, like I didn't have anyone to talk to. There was nobody. You might understand the situation, but nevertheless, you embodied the consciousness of feeling like I wasn't protected though. And that to me is like psychological, it's emotional. It's when we become very sensitive. And when we become very sensitive, because we have to, again, only rely on ourselves. So we really tap into all our senses. And then what happens is we become like a truth speaker, because it's like intuitively we know we're led from our higher self. Because we were neglected, we didn't feel safe. So when, again, you live in survival mode as a child, you become more sensitive. You become an empath. The environment makes you that way. It's like, again, you also could have been born with that trait or inherited it on top of it. So when that happens, it's like it requires a lot of time by ourselves, where it's again, we just feel more safe. We have a very rich internal life. And that could be, again, it's a way that we protected ourselves as children. But then we're a little bit too naive. We're a little bit too optimistic when it comes to, again, like people. So not all the time do we inherit wounds. Sometimes, again, we inherit gifts. And I think being a truth speaker is a gift. I think being optimistic is a gift. It's not. And the only thing is you didn't play as much, but playing was done by yourself. Where Spirit says you're down there to be the expression of love, to give and receive of love. So again, if you were neglected, then it's, again, an overly sensitive, then relationships tend to be difficult because you didn't experience that to begin with. And then being sensitive to other people and other people are not sensitive to you. So again, the perception then becomes, we can see why, again, closeness and intimacy would be a problem because, well, I've gotten hurt. And so Spirit says, yeah, so you needed to integrate the spiritual lesson. Part of integrating it was not being with this person, and then also then doing something with that energy, because you can't just get rid of negative energy. The whole point was you connected to that person. What did they teach you? And really, Spirit saying, well, now it's to go out and play too. It's to use your optimistic energy and really go out and play and be led by your truth, that you create your own protection. Like, we don't, the environment doesn't make us safe. We become strong within who we are, and we create that support for ourselves, because I associate protection with support. With maybe, again, I just felt alone all the time, like I didn't have anyone. So you have to, again, do that for yourself, and that's a grounding issue. And that's the going out into the world and becoming yourself. It's, again, not staying in the energy that the world tells you, where everyone else has influence, but the energy that you need to create for yourself. And again, that's what Spirit's saying. That's what I felt, because, Spirit says, first of all, understand that all experiences, good or bad, shape your soul's evolution to help you learn and to grow. But it's all about going into life, and so if you're someone that's fearful, it's, fears are not really, they're an illusion, and that you have to go through them. It's like, that's how you get to see a different version of yourself. The key is not to look directly at your fears. Understand those fears are going to show up, but when you're in the passion for life, your mind is on what you're doing, what you're creating. And when that fear pops up, your intuition will lead you. And it'll lead you because, again, you're clear minded. You're focused on something completely different. You're putting it in God's hands. You're, again, walking faith. That's walking faith. You have to walk from faith. That's how you face your fears. You don't look for the fears. It's like, then you're going to be like, oh, it's going to happen. You don't want that, because then you're also going to bring on more of the same of what you don't want. You become the energy of love by doing what you love, by becoming what you love. And that is how you transcend the limitations of what fear is, because fear is, again, not real. It's an illusion. You say, no, I went through that experience, but you're not the same person. So again, understand the reaction of, oh, I'm going to react the same way, is what you're fearful about. When really, experiences happen within cycles. So every 7 years, every 10 years, you live the karmic loop. And so eventually you say, well, I'm not going to do that. People tend to either overcompensate or undercompensate. Second chakra imbalance. We don't move us. You're like, well, I feel like I need to. No, we don't. We're doing our mind is somewhere else in the passion for life. And in that moment, Spirit leads us. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. We don't need to understand. We'll be intuitively told. You're disconnected from your higher self, the God part of self, if you're coming from a place of fear. Because again, and we don't create strength through outside of ourselves. The kingdom of heaven's inside of you. So strength comes from building a strong connection with the higher self, which is that God part of self. Because everyone's heaven on earth isn't the same. Mine's not going to be the same as yours. And we are allowed, we're entitled, as long as we're, again, in alignment with love. We're not hurting anyone else. That's the way that it goes. That's our spiritual sovereignty. It's, again, that's how you make magic happen. So again, you can't make magic if you're in fear. So you have to embrace your spiritual sovereignty. Use your voice. God created the world with its voice. You too can create the world with your voice. That's how you learn boundaries. Because if you're in the passion for life and you're focused on that, and intuitively you feel like somebody is not really right, you can set boundaries without overthinking. Because intuitively you'll be led. See, trauma creates disconnection and disassociation, especially when we've been neglected. We're like, again, want to just kind of cower down, and spirit says that we can't be that way. We have to again be outward. The same tools that you used to survive in childhood will hurt you, will block you from thriving. Understand, in this story, this is more about healing yourself during the separation with the twin flame level, because there's a sense of, well, I don't really trust me. It's like, because again, the disconnect from the physical body. I'm used to being alone. It's like I'm used of, again, because of that sensitivity. So again, doing body mind medicine, breath work, showing up for yourself every day will allow you to actually not only create a way where there is no way, just for you to help you become yourself, but to heal what needs to be healed, again, so that you can see brighter horizons for your own immediate life without this person. Because that the twin flame like makes us stand accountable. So you have to say, this person isn't ready. Why would you bring me my twin flame when I'm not ready? And spirit says, because you're not ready either. And you're like, well, I'm ready. I didn't treat this person like a baby. This person acts like a baby. And the spirit says, but you're not grounded enough, and you're too optimistic, when really that, like, you're not seeing things for really what they are. Go out into the world. It's again, and discover like who you are, become strong in who you are, and understand that person will come back. And you always have free will, whether you choose to have this person come back. But if it's a real twin flame, you'll take this person back, because again, no time, no space. It's God keeps you both busy until you both are ready. And so it is a thing of back and forth, because of what you grew up in, what that person grew up in. It's like we weren't taught how to love oneself, wasn't taught then to feel safe with other people. It's like they conditioned in a certain environment. When you inherit ancestral karma, family karma, what you are is like how you learn how to talk to people. So if you witnessed your parents cursing each other out, and really extreme, like emotional energy, like where they're screaming at each other. I know, like, even for myself personally, my mother set my father's suit on fire in the middle of the living room to make a point that she didn't like polyester. He went and he bought a polyester suit, and she didn't go with him. There was one thing she asked him to do, and he did it, and he fucked up. And she took it so personally. She got so mad. She got so mad. She brought the garbage can in the middle of the living room and set that fucking suit on fire. Yes, the police came to the house. So again, was that how we were taught how to handle things, or were we taught how to handle things? Well, I'm gonna walk away for a little while and come back and have a conversation. Are you dealing with someone that learned that? Again, these behaviorisms and habits, that's just one thing. There's many others. The addictions, like how you deal with life, how you show up. Is again, can you handle it? How do you deal with stress? Do you come home and kick the dog? Do you blame everyone else? Or do you go do a yoga class? It's again, it's life happens. And so this person's not strong. And the spirit's showing you, well, this is where you're not strong. It's like, and it has nothing to do with you, but you grew up in an environment that didn't teach. So you have to, again, give yourself that. And that's really how you see the brighter horizons. And you may say, I'm doing that. And then spirit says, well, then it's to go out into the world and share that, and to ground that, and to, again, become what it is that you want, because you're not 100% strong in that element of yourself, which is I don't need to have anyone in my life to feel 100% fulfilled and strong. I still like need that, you know. And some people say, well, no, I am, but I still want that. And the spirit says, if you're not if it's not happening, then then there's a block there that you're not aware of, and it will eventually present itself, because otherwise you would be. I mean, and that's the whole thing. It's like we're the alchemists of our life. Sometimes the hardest part is identifying, like we can say, okay, I see what that block is, but I don't know where it came from. And that's because, again, of the fragmentation, is that we don't remember like the experience. Our brain protects us. So a lot of trauma, we don't know. We just see the end result, which is the behaviorism, and say, well, I know that that happens. And so we don't really feel like we're in charge of what happens, or don't understand why we react the way that we do. So then I would say, again, it's all about, you meditate. You still have to take time out to meditate and to connect with yourself and to do your shadow work, and that happens when you get triggered. Journal. There are ways to dig deeper. And so spirit says everything is going to happen is going to unfold in divine time for you. So it's, again, stay in the place of faith. So the hardest part is believing when you're not seeing. But if you're putting the energy out there the best way that you know how, and you're consistent, you eventually become it. And so the hardest part is to, again, fight your mind. Yeah, if you pay for one, I mean, I do offer readings. You have to go through my website. Um, the voice of the heart. I silence the fear in me and discover the voice of my heart. The fruit of these words guides you. And understand the song of your soul you need to listen to, and intuition leads you on the path to light. So it's all about, again, listening to yourself. But I always say it's about listening to yourself when it comes to creating your life. That's what I see. It's like, it's not so much I let my heart just lead me, because if you just listen to your heart, you're going to be led in the wrong place. It's to listen to your spirit, to your soul. And yes, listen to your heart, like like when creating yourself, becoming yourself. That's the most important thing here, because even if a person's our twin flame, they're not going to act the way that we want them to all the time. They're going to trigger us. So the way that we have the most control is, again, really to make sure that our mind is not on them, because then emotionally they have no power. And if you're channeling that emotion into creating, well, that's how you can actually change the perception of that person, how they know that they need to treat you, because what you're saying to this person is, I value you, I value myself, rather. And you're showing that because you're creating a life as you're manifesting, one that's giving you opportunity. You're not telling this person to change, you're changing. And when you change, you attract other people into your life. And that also helps that person see, like, what you're deserving of, because sometimes you just saying, listen, they know what I'm deserving of, and I tell them, they don't do it. Well, then it's, again, when you put the energy into yourself and then other people do it, because then you're going to connect to other people that do it. That's what gives that person an opportunity to say, well, if I don't do it, it's like, because what it is that person just takes you for granted. And sometimes it's about us not treating ourselves well. And that's what Spirit was saying within this story, was saying, you know, you treat other people really well, but you don't treat yourself well. And it's because of this issue. So once you heal that issue, then your opportunities are going to come back. And that's when, if this person comes back, then you can really see, do I want to be with you? Are you really my twin flame? Because otherwise we wouldn't know. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Didn't mean to be rude, Johanna. It's just, like I said, it takes a long time and a lot of energy for me to put into readings. I do offer discounts for people that, do are part of my YouTube channel, but unfortunately, it's an energy thing. It's I value my time and I value my gift, and it's their healing style readings. And when people don't want to invest in their healing, but they expect us healers to do it, it's they're still not 100% ready to heal, in my opinion. Because as a healer that learned the art of healing through healing myself, I took a lot of classes. I got certified in a lot of things. I paid money to do that. So, and I offer what I offer here for help, but then I also, for, independent readings, I have to charge for. All right. I'm going to leave that there, but, blessings to you and everyone else that watched today. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. Until next time, be true to you. I'll be on later. Bye.